Every relationship with a narcissist is a threesome. You just don't know it because they always need that third person in the relationship, whether it's someone gave me the number or someone's noticing me.
This person DM'd me or this person's hitting on me.
They're always trying to, and they're always trying to create that sense of intrigue or the idea that somebody is more into them or again, it's often them creating the jealousy, or they be incredibly jealous of their partners.
Oh,
there's a difference
so
between jealousy and pathological jealousy. There's two different things. Okay, so jealousy is normal.
Yes.
We're a pair bonded species. We human beings. We pretty much are about generally normatively have sex with one person.
Yeah.
People are like, no, that person cheated on me. I said, yeah. They were only having sex with them. They weren't having sex with you.
Right.
They were still sexually monogamous.
With one person.
They weren't banging you. They were banging someone else.
Yes.
You were on paper in a relationship with them. You went to the same home, but their sex was with someone else. Okay. But we tend to be pair bonded. We tend to be monogamous. All right. So jealousy is a threat to that. Think of it Darwinianly, right? If I'm in a relationship and a threat comes in, right? Normal jealousy is that sort of evolutionary jealousy, right? I'm with a person. If somebody comes in as a threat to that relationship, I've lost the resources and support for our offspring, right? That's all that Darwinian stuff, reproduction.
Pathological jealousy.
Pathological jealousy, though, that starts getting into the realm of things like paranoia and
oh my gosh,
and negative mood states and all that. Like jealousy doesn't feel good, but I always, when I've worked with couples, they're like, I'm jealous. I'm like, that's good. That means you still got skin in the game. Like, because when I've been with people, worked with couples or worked with individuals, and they'll say, I'm not even jealous when people notice my husband. I kind of feel sad because I'm like, yeah, this thing's kind of kind of done.
I feel like, I don't feel jealous. I feel like I trust the person I'm with.
But that's we're talking about pathological jealousy, right? So I think of my partner. Ironically, on my drive here, he was talking about something and about this woman who I knew we were going to see who had hit on him. And this dude is so loyal, it levels it to a whole new level. And I remember thinking in the drive, I'm like, I got that little funny thing in my tummy.
Okay.
And I'm like, he doesn't even live in this country. And so I'm thinking, and I was like, that's good. That's good that I'm still feeling I still got a dog in the fight.
But it doesn't mean you're like, for days, letting it stress you out and like talking to them about it.
Only because we're talking about it here.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And so the paranoid jealousy is that's
a narcissist thing.
This is where,
paranoid
jealousy. Okay, so I remember in this specific relationship, it was like, she would make things up. She'd be like, oh, this person is hitting on you. And I was like, no, I don't even know who this person is. And then it would just be like used against. And then it was like, well, I'm not speaking to you for a couple of days because you must be lying to me. You must not be telling me the truth. And I'm like, well, what? It's just like, it kept going on and on. So yeah, if you want to use this, if you have any examples.
Next time we have, yes.
I think this would be cool to show on YouTube. People will love this.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a little bit of jealousy is normal, means you care. But what did you say? What's the
paranoia, the pathological jealousy.
Pathological jealousy.
Yeah.
That's a narcissistic.
That's more of it's more paranoid, it's more antagonistic, it's more about
you must be doing something.
You're doing so, it's accusatory, it's almost delusional.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Just so much is coming up for me. And what would you say again are the main causes? What are the main things that happen to cause someone to become a narcissist? Is it all trauma-based?
It's partly trauma. It's also that temperament. It is chaos in the early environment.
Yes.
It's lack of secure attachment. It's overvaluation of the child. Gotcha. Basically, the child can do no wrong, and they're so wonderful. I mean, it's interesting. We're about to see something fascinating happen, and I don't know how it's going to go down. We're about to see, because Facebook's coming up on 20 years soon, right? We're about to see the first generation of kids who are born into the Facebook world, where every moment being documented and shared and
since they were born.
Since they were born. This is the first time we're going to be seeing this. So I bless the people out there who are going to start collecting this data, because we now have, you're going to see what happens if you were, because I had kids way before this, so I did not, the only people saw their pictures were the people I actually
friends and family.
Put them in an envelope, mailed a picture, kind of thing.
Or came over to the house and looked
came to the house and looked at the actual baby. But this is a whole new game for kids who's basically were accessories to their parents' lives. Like, look at my child this, look at my child this, look at my child this. Every day there's a new picture.
So is Do you think it's okay to share some of your family life on social media and some of your children's, special moments? Or do you think we should be protecting our kids at all costs and never show their face, never show anything until they're, whatever, 10
It's
or
a
12?
super interesting area. There's some actually really interesting thinking and writing about this, which is these children aren't consenting to this. Are these children consenting to you showing them have a meltdown? Or, we see all these silly child videos, and sometimes I kind of feel a little sadness because these things stay evergreen. They didn't agree to that. And as much as we say, oh no, it's so cute, is it still, they didn't consent. It's a vulnerability, right? So I know some folks in the developmental sphere of psychology saying, oh, this may not be entirely cool.
Yeah,
I'm not agreeing.
What happens when the kid's 23 and they start going back and seeing all these things that their mom or dad posted, and they're like, that's not really cool. I wish you wouldn't have done that to me.
But it goes beyond that, because even when the child is young, there's this sense of things are constantly being done to them without them agreeing to it.
Posing and put these clothes on and do this and let's post you.
Yeah, in a public way. And then the child also gets this sense of their utility, their importance to their parents is their social media persona. You look so pretty in your dress. You look so cute in your costume. Like, you're wondering, are you costuming your child for Halloween for you or for them?
Or for the validation online.
Yeah, exactly, for the validation
for the likes
the parent
and
is getting.
engagement.
Yes, exactly.
Man, that's tough, because I have friends who never show their kids stuff, and then I have friends who do show their kids. And man, it's just like, yeah, how do we navigate that conversation, and how do we?
I think we're building this airplane in the sky.
Oh man.
And so the challenge becomes then that I would say it's a balancing act between parents talking to each other, both parents, but also I think there's a larger issue of how much is the child feeling that they're valued, validated for being the kid who poses in social media, right? Because what does every child want? They want their parents' love.
Love and
That's
attention.
all they want is their parents' love and attention.
Yeah.
So if they start to recognize that if I'm looking good on social media and mommy's getting validated, then they'll put on the weird thing they want her to wear or do the thing that she wants them to do. But what's not happening is that their interests, what they value, may not be cultivated, or everything's a photo op. It's as though the child feels that they're constantly on display versus just having a moment where they're being present and mindful, and it doesn't all have to be documented. I've been with as a psychologist. I'm concerned about when these chickens come home to roost, and they're going to.
Let's say there are parents that are posting about their kids online. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have a small following, maybe it's to a private group of their friends and family.
That's a kind of a different game.
Or it's the ones that have a bigger following. If they were going to be posting and they have a bigger following, let's say, not to their friends and family, what would be appropriate that you think psychologically, in a healthy manner, to be able to talk about your family and your kids? Is there a healthy way psychologically that's going to,
I think
not mess them up, or,
being present with your children emotionally, being aware of their needs, of not turning them into a performing pony in your circus. Do you know, again, I say this as the mom of 2 kids, right? And there are moments when you think, well, this is the day we're going to take such and such picture. Somebody's sick, someone's crying, someone has torn their dress, someone is this. And if you get angry at them because they've ruined your finely laid plans, that child then starts getting that conditional sense of, I'm only about this person's finely laid plans. Listen, we all do it. We all screw up. We all do that conditionality to our kids. It's almost impossible to not. It's how quickly we catch ourselves and say, that's not what they want. We're going to Disneyland because they want to go to Disneyland. We're going to the parks. They want to go to the park, not because what a great day for a photo op. Like I've been on vacation and I've watched families literally screaming, we need this live Christmas card.
No way.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Pay attention, look
Let
here.
them just splash and be sandy and muddy. They're at the beach. And it's that kind of obsessive zeal because all of that social comparison of people wanting to put out the false self. And what is narcissism?
That we're
but
perfect.
The false self.
Narcissism is the false self.
Yeah.
It's a mask.
It's always a mask because it's the mask of what they think the world wants, the world wants them to look, which is why more and more people are looking the same. They're getting the same cosmetic procedures. They have the same bodies. They're driving the same cars. They're really sort of shills for this sort of artificial mask. That's a narcissist game. Narcissism is the opposite of authenticity.
it's so interesting because 4 years ago I wrote a book called The Mask of Masculinity, which is about,
Interesting.
and I interviewed a lot of psychologists and experts on these kind of personality traits and these masks that men wear. And I wrote about it because I realized I was wearing a mask, a couple of different masks, for many different years of my life to protect myself, to try to fit in, to try to be liked and loved by society. One of them being like the athlete mask. It's like I always had to win at all costs. I needed to be number one. And if I ever lost or got second, then no one would ever love me. So at all costs, I was like training and developing myself to be the best athlete I could be. And I was a horrible loser. I was a sore loser. I couldn't handle it. I would get angry. I would be like moody. I would be like frustrated and I'm not good enough. I'd beat myself up and train obsessively until I got better, until I could make sure that, I could put myself in a better position athletically. And there's these different masks that men wear. And I realized that it's all about trying to fit in. It was all about men trying to fit in and trying to belong, but it's not the authentic self.
Correct. And that's maybe we'll have a different day. I'll come in and talk to you about the authentic self, because it's such a big conversation. When we look at the work of Carl Rogers, right, the humanistic psychologist, and even other humanists like Abraham Maslow. So these were the big players in that humanistic universe. This idea of authenticity and self-actualization. So if you were to view human growth as a mountain, self-actualization is the summit. It's the top. Yes. I in my lifetime, I've met 5 self-actualized people, and it was unforgettable. And they were always older. I think it's hard to self-actualize when you're younger, and they were deeply authentic. I mean, like you did feel like you were in the face of greatness with them, but some from ordinary. Like one was a man who was he was an auto mechanic in Johannesburg. And I was like, I am in the presence of absolute greatness right now.
What did that feel like?
It was like
the experience?
Absolute serenity. I felt at one with him, at one with the situation. I felt more calmed down. I felt like I could keep listening to him. This was a man with almost no education, who, again, he fixed cars in Johannesburg, and actually not in the nicest of surroundings. And he was joy, like he was just human joy. And it's not because he was laughing, but he was so proud of and anyone looking at it, like, there's not a lot happening here. But it was this genuine, authentic, like, please come look at my beautiful space. This is my life. And the other person I met who was same thing, joy. And that man, that Johannesburg man, I'm still not in touch with, but this other man I am. And he is somebody who had a moment in his life and he decided to devote his life to children and families living in poverty in India. And I worked with a school he was working with in India. And I remember sitting with him. We were kind of sitting next to an open sewer, and it smelled like an open sewer. He's just chilling. And I'm like, I could have sat there all day, and it was hot and there were flies. It was uncomfortable, and he was magnificent. And and it wasn't just the mechanic guy wasn't out there saving the world. He was fixing cars. This guy happened to be doing something for a very small community in this village in India, right?
In service,
But he was in service. The other one was not. But there was such a congruence between who they were as human beings and how they conducted themselves and how they were in the world. There was no sense of someone has more, I want what they have, someone's got it better, why is that happening? How come they got their turn first? And I remember when I think about them, I have the photograph of the gentleman from Johannesburg, this other man I'm still in touch with, and I need that to sort of try to get myself recalibrated to my center. But again, the opposite of narcissism, no mask whatsoever. They were just in themselves. Like, what a life, like what a gorgeous life.
You mentioned the deep technique. Don't defend, don't engage, don't explain, don't personalize. So how do you argue or communicate with a narcissist to get like your point across if you need to get it across?
You don't.
You don't.
You can't. So sometimes I tell people,
life is meant to be lived in a beautiful way.
Not with them.
So that we should just rip the Band-Aid, you know what I mean?
Not necessarily, we can't, right? So like I said, I'll give you an example, okay? Narcissistic divorce. Family court and family law is not written around saying, Narcissistic parents aren't good for kids. So if you're parenting with a narcissist, we're going to give the other parent full custody. Not happening.
Yeah.
State of California, 50-50. All right? Unless somebody doesn't want that. So what happens then is a person says, if I decide to split up from this person, I'm only going to be with my kids 50% of the time. And I don't want them with that influence 50% of the time. So some people will stay. My favorite is when people file for divorce like the day of their youngest child's 18th birthday. I'm like, I know what that was about. You see that happen quite a bit. They literally wait till that day.
Them.
And then at 18, those kids are free agents. So there's no one can say you have to be here, you have to stay here, you have to celebrate this holiday with that or anything. They get to call their own shots.
So how do you...
So you
just have to have extreme patience, I feel like.
It's beyond patience. It's radical acceptance. Patience is endurance. Radical acceptance
This thing sounds exhausting.
is getting it. It is absolutely exhausting. It's just knowing that this isn't going to change. You ever spend time in Chicago? I'm sure
Yes.
you have, right? Go to Chicago. It's February in Chicago.
Oh, it's miserable.
Are you going to go for a run in just your shorts and no shirt?
No, unless you're crazy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Because in February in Chicago, it's cold. It's radical acceptance.
Yeah, so you just accept it.
Right?
Yeah.
If your window's facing east and you don't want the sun to wake you up, get curtains. Radical acceptance. You cannot talk to a narcissist.
Gosh.
So I tell people, there's another concept I use is something called true north. Sometimes you have to get into the argument. True north are those things that you're going to fight for because they're important to your core values, so who you are. For some folks, it's their kids. For some people, it may be a cause they believe in or a belief they have, or they will not listen to, prejudicial language. True North gets activated and they'll say, I'm taking the fight. They pull off the gloves, they pull out the earrings, and then they're in. They're just, they'll go at it. It is exhausting.
Nothing good happens, does it?
Nothing good happens, right? But at least they can say, I took the fight, Dr. Romney,
yeah.
so I could live with myself.
Right.
To know that I fought for my kids.
Stood up for what I, yeah.
I stood up, but do not get into the fight about the dishwasher or, why were you late to the party or why were you rude to my sister or whatever. I mean, if you keep taking every fight, it's exhausting. The minute you let go, what happens though is when a person finally gives up, they're overwhelmed with grief. They're like, there's nothing here. There's nothing to talk about. I can't tell them good news because they make fun of it or they dismiss it. I can't tell them bad news because they get really angry and rageful. So all we can really talk about is the weather. I'm like, dead.
But what do you do with the rest of your time?
You cultivate other stuff in your life,
My gosh.
interests.
Can you love a narcissist, or is it impossible to love a
It's a
narcissist?
subjective question, right? Love is such a complicated word. It means something different to you. It means something different to me. It means different things to the people out in the street. So that's the bigger question I often get is, can a narcissist love?
Is that possible?
It depends on
Besides loving themselves.
What is cold to you, right? You're in short sleeves. I'm in a sweater.
Yeah.
So it's a subjective word. So lots of people love narcissists. They do. They're like, I love this person. They represent something to me. Maybe this is where it starts getting to a philosophical question. Maybe when we love someone, it is very representational. We love what they stand for. We love what we believe they are. But we don't know. Maybe we never know someone enough to love them. So, again, that's a philosophical conversation.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, there are people out there who will say, parents are a great example. People have narcissistic parents. They're like, I love my mother or I love my father. I can't stand them.
Right. Sure.
But love is much more metaphysical.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So
What's the biggest misconceptions about a narcissist then?
that they love themselves.
They don't love themselves?
Oh, hell no. It's self-loathing. This is a disorder of self-loathing. All that inadequacy and ugly insecurity, they hate themselves.
But then they put it on other people.
Project it onto other people. You're a horrible, lying, disgusting person. You make me sick.
Oh my
They're talking
gosh.
about themselves.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you just want to give them a hug.
So narcissists are miserable.
They're miserable. Miserable. It's awful. I actually say that the compassion we can find in ourselves is people are like, I want to get revenge on them. I say, you don't have to. They have to keep being them.
They have to live with it.
The universe wins on that one. Like they have to
Wow.
keep being them. It is imagine every day you're comparing yourself to everyone. You're thinking they have that and they have that. How come I don't have this? And how come this? And they're constantly anxious. They're constantly angry. They constantly feel like a victim. They feel like everyone is out to get them. That's a very difficult way to live.
Their nervous system must be always heightened too.
Kind of, yeah. Different than their psychopathic cousins there,
Who
obviously.
doesn't feel it, yeah.
Yeah, but narcissists really, it's a very uncomfortable way to live because they always feel like they're getting the short end of the stick.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this and you want more inspirational content, make sure to click the subscribe button below and click right here to watch what's coming next.